a very prominent Liberian, former president, former vice president, and president of ULA, the Union of Liberians here in the United States. He's also a former vice presidential candidate in the just ended elections that was held in Liberia. He is very much a business-oriented individual. And I remember when he spoke to us in Minnesota a couple of days ago, he said that he really don't have to work. How many of us can say that? That you really don't have to work. But he's still good. So ladies and gentlemen, your panelists. Speaking for 4 minutes.
Thank you for allowing me to speak for 5 minutes.
The next panelist
to get an educator to speak before someone who has no such profession. So I will address you. Whatever you get, you deserve it. Mr. President and members of Musa, member chapters leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to first say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I know there are many among us here that could do justice to this particular issue, but choosing me among these wonderful people, please accept my expression of high gratitude. The theme, education, the passport for the future, could not be any better than what Dr. Kromah has done. But one thing about following the footstep of a good dancer, you don't have to brush much. So I can just smooth myself through this whole process. Hopefully I will land right behind him. I take it at the point, the root word, education. And to address it, I have to find out exactly, maybe with your support, not expecting you to say anything, but just thinking in your head. What is education? If we define education, then we can move on and identify what we can do with it. Where did it come from? What does it mean to be educated? In Latin, educate means to get out of. To get out of ignorance, get out of prejudice, get out of all the ugly things, unemployment, get out of all the ugly things there is to make you a better person, eventually make the society a wholesome community. I like what one professor, John Mansfield, said once when walking on the campus in Cambridge. A young man went to him and said, "Professor, I see you walking around the university campus and just staring at things and you are not saying much. But tell me, I have two questions for you. And these questions are, what do you admire most on this campus?" He said two things. First, I admire the splendid beauty of the university because it's a place where those who hate ignorance strive to know. He said, secondly, I admire the splendid beauty of the university because it is a place where those who perceive the truth, strives for others to see it. When you take all of that, how do you translate that into your everyday life when you are educated, when you have gotten out of? According to Plato, the human being is divided into three parts. One is visible. The other two you can just see from what they do, what the reaction of the first one. The first part, which constitutes 98% of the human being, which is the vegetation, the one you see every day. Everything you see on me, that's the vegetation. In that vegetation, there is something called emotion. It is lesser than the vegetation. The third one is the intellect. Is the smallest part of the human system. As small as it is the most powerful. And as powerful as it is, it can be influenced by emotion. So, the interesting thing about education, the lack of it is surrounded by darkness. And where does it start? From the womb. Please bear with me. I'm taking you to different angles so that I can draw a conclusion. The lack of education is surrounded by darkness. It starts from the womb of a mother. Then the child is born. When that child is born, consider it a graduation from one level to another because they have been exposed to light. The farther that child develops from the womb and advances, is going away from the darkness and moving towards light. That's the educational process. When that education is acquired, though you are no longer from the initial point, but there is something in the human system called imagination. Though you are no longer there, but you know the conditions there. You can envision it. How are we going to translate all of the things that we are learning? Are we going to sit and wallow into complacency because I have $1 million home, because I have a vehicle that is talking to me and tells me which direction I should turn when I want to go see my brother? Or we're going to translate that into something that is going to redeem our people from back home? I think that is one of the reasons why I personally left and went to Liberia. Education is good. In law, it said, fitness for purpose in the contract. If you buy something, it should serve the purpose for which it was purchased or negotiated for. If it doesn't serve that purpose, does it fit? Many of you here, many of us here were privileged to come here to get that education. Now that we have the education, how are we going to translate that into something that humanity can be proud of and our people can be proud of? I'm not going to go into the depth of what the doc said, because everything, he got me sitting down when he asked for extra time. I said, you can have my time. The interesting thing is, our developmental process is suppressed, and it is left with you to make our future, build our future. Our future is being stepped on because they will always tell you that the teacher of Aristotle was Plato. Plato's teacher was Socrates. Who was Socrates' teacher? Where did he go to school? Where did Socrates go to school? Where is Alexandria? Where is Timbuktu? What happened to the 300 years journey? What happened to us as a people? Getting the education is one thing, but translate it into something that can be useful. You see here, very few of our women are here today. Last night when I came here, I was elated. The number of people that were here. Education doesn't mean taking care of yourself. You should impact on the community in which you live. There's a community, nothing should happen to you. You should be the one happening to communities. That's what will take us to the future. The road to the future is translating what you have learned to something that is worthwhile, that can make a difference. If you're going to wallow into complacency and allow your community to happen to you, and you allow things to happen to you, obviously, you are just one of them. We are exceptional people. Go on the computer, try to put any list, any tribe in Liberia in it. It will put red line under it and say, what is this? Put Madingo in it. It will accept it. And if you tell it, what is it? How are you going to translate all of that? You sit here because I was privileged to come, and my brothers and sisters that didn't get a chance to come here did something, that's why they are not here. I'm here because I'm blessed. And I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything for God to choose me to be here and left my brothers and sisters there. Now that I'm here, let us translate that into something worthwhile. Something that can make a difference. Something that we all are fighting for. We keep suppressing our potentials. There is something that I wrote the last time. I said, at the fulcrum. I was sitting here today. There was a sheriff going upstairs. This is the sheriff. Mr. Kone was sitting down, and he said, I want you to come clean my shoes or something like that. That's the way we resolve conflict. Like my auntie said, our cultural way. Somebody should call somebody, look, the Ture, the Jabate, and having, you'll get their Sanangun. They are the ones that can resolve this. Why we keep suppressing this enormous power because of ego? The day you die, you are finished. I swear to God, if the Madingo people decide to come together today, you will see miracles happening. For me, that is the passport to the future. For me, let us put our differences aside. Our society has been transformed into, not transformed, but transfigured into markets. I don't know it is due to slavery, Potaism, the thing they used to call proto, or other humiliations that we have suffered through the years. Many Liberians see nothing in the dignity and glory of that great state to protect. They will destroy anything to prove a point. They will sell anything if they can find a buyer. I've been there. I know how it is. Is that going to take us to the future? These are educated men and women, PhDs. The biggest trouble before I sit down is that immediately after the war, when we went to Liberia, they were busy renovating the universities. What are you going to feed the universities with? There have been no high school. As a result, what happened? They hired people from Guinea, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Ivory Coast, you name it. I thought, like America did, the first group of people were educated people. They were busy building. The second generation were ignorant. I thought we were going to get ourselves involved in building technical schools all over. Because I know in this country, romance with no finance has no sense. And if you think that money is not everything, try doing anything without it. Thank you.
I will take the mic to Mr. Kromah to address you all.
That's not what the case is. I have difficulties in getting my hard copy out. That's what I'm sitting here. All right? Not too big to stand over and speak to everybody. But anyway, that's besides the point. The Honorable President, the members of the Executive Committee of FEMUSA, our distinguished panelists, our fellow platform guests, members of the Board of Directors, heads of various chapters of FEMUSA, fellow Liberian, welcome to FEMUSA Convention. I also want to extend special recognition to my sister, the caretaker of FEMUSA at this point, Ms. Haja Mansa Keita. Well, today is one of those days that we have set in our lifetime to celebrate. Celebrate because it is one of those eventual days that we all will have to reflect on when we are 95 years old. This convention, if I may just take a seat, to us. And I'd like to take the time to welcome the Liberian Mandingo Association, of New York, Lebanon, for making this junction. We want to commend the leadership of Lebanon and other newly member states for identifying with the rest of the community in gearing up to address this year's theme, education, the passport to the future. When we were asked to address comment made on some website a day to the convention, we thought it was necessary to ignore it because we thought that would not contribute to the dialogue that we so much wish for. We are also cognizant of the basic concept upon which FEMUSA exists: political pluralism